So hey guys, I'm Astley. I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys about octaves. Well, from what I've learned about what octaves are, and just my experience with them. So here we go, let's do this thing. The first position I'm going to go over with starts on the low E string. And let's use the note A. This is the 5th fret of the low E string. In order to do this octave, you're going to need your index finger and your ring finger. So let's say I play this A on the low E string. The octave of this A will be A as well, but on the D string. So basically what an octave is are two notes that are the same, but one is either played at a higher pitch than the other or a lower pitch than the other. We're going to play this octave position by placing our index finger on the 5th fret of the E string and placing our ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. So now you're probably wondering about the other strings, these other open strings. It's good that we got the E string and the D string down, but these other strings are still open. If we were to try to play the octave with these strings still open, it would sound horrible. It would sound something like this. It's just not working. Now, in order to eliminate this issue, what we're going to do is we're going to take the inside of our index finger, the flesh, and we're going to gently place it along all the strings on the 5th fret. Now, we're not placing it down hard so that we can hear the notes, but rather we're pressing it down gently so that the strings are muted. Now, at the same time, we're going to take our index finger and place it on the 5th fret of the E string, and take our ring finger and place it on the 7th fret of the D string. Now what this is allowing us to do is only hear these two notes while we play. So it's going to sound something like this. Did you hear the difference? It sounds much better. You can go ahead and move that up and down the fretboard if you want. You can get funky with it. If you want to do that, you know. You know, whichever floats your boat. Alright, so now let's go over the second position that I want to go over with you guys. Now, it's very similar to the first position. In fact, it is the exact same finger position as it was the first position that we just went over. The only difference is it's moved down to the A string. Again, this octave position is very similar to the one that we just went over. The only difference is we're taking the finger positions that we had on the E string and the D string, and we're bringing it down to the A and the G string. For the sake of this example, let's keep it on the 5th fret. So the 5th fret on the A string is this D. And we're going to take our index finger and place that on the 5th fret of the A string. We're going to take our ring finger and place it on the 7th fret of this G string. And remember, like I told you, this octave position is very similar to the one before. So you're going to still use the inside of your flesh to mute the E string and the B string. And the other string you're going to be muting in this is the D string. So the E string, B string, and the D string. Now when it's muted, it's going to sound like this. That's how you know it's muted. So the same way we play the other octave position, we're going to play this one. You just... exact same way. Now, you have this E string up here. It's kind of just hanging out there. What you do to stop this E string from playing while you play is you take the flesh right here and you place that gently below the E string. So what it's going to do is going to mute it. So it's going to sound like this. So while you play, it's just going to be... You see how it's really clean this way. So it's just going to be... And that's how you do that thing. Alright, this next example, this next octave position is a little different. It's not difficult, it's different. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our index finger, we're going to place that on the 5th fret of the D string, which is the G note. So index finger, 5th fret of the D string. We're going to take our pinky, and we're going to place that on the 8th fret of the B string. In the past we've been using our ring finger, but now we're going to use our pinky. So the same rules apply. The exact same rules apply. We're just gonna. The only thing that's different is we're using our pinky instead of our ring finger. Now, the strings that need to be muted are this high E string, and this G string. It's gonna sound like, you know, when it's muted, it's gonna sound like. And when you play, you play it. Now, in the previous example, I told you that you have to use this tip of your index finger and place it right here below this E string. In this example, it's very similar, because if you try to play this octave that starts on this D string, if you try to play it without muting this open A string, it's gonna. You know, I mean, it could sound good to you. It actually doesn't sound that bad. But that's not the point. So for this example, you have to use the tip of this index finger, and you're going to gently push it into this open A string. So it's going to sound like this. So that's the other string that's muted. And you play it like you play the other ones. This one might take a little bit of getting used to, because it's like a whole different kind of shape that we're doing. But you play it like you play the rest. This is very similar to the rest. Only thing that's different is you're using your pinky instead of your ring finger. Okay, so we're bringing it to a close with this last octave position. So you're going to take your index finger, you're going to place that on the 5th fret of the G string. This is a C note. C. And you're going to take your pinky and you're going to place that on the 8th fret of the high E string. It's going to be really easy to mute the strings for this octave position, because you're only muting 2 strings. You're muting this B string, and you're muting this D string. Now, you're going to mute the B string with this flesh right here. You're just going to gently lay it over there like we did the other examples. It's going to sound like this. And you're going to take this very tip part right here, this little tip part, and you're going to place that gently below the D string. So it's going to sound like this. This octave position may be a little difficult. Well, not difficult, a little tricky, because you have this open E string up here, and you have this open A string. And the thing about it is you can't mute those 2 strings. So you have to make sure that you hit this octave right on point. Because if you don't hit it on point, it'll be like I've made this mistake a couple times before. Because you'll just be kind of like in the mode, and you just hit that note, and it sounds nasty. So you just got to make sure that you just hit it right. Make sure you hit it right. Hit it right. Alright guys, that concludes the end of this octave lesson video. Thanks so much for watching. I wish I had some really cool outro music to play while I bid you all farewell. But I don't. Not as yet. Not as yet. But I will be posting more video lessons, more guitar video lessons. But in the meantime, you know, go ahead, keep playing, go over what I just showed you. And thanks so much for watching. Alright, I'll see you guys later.